everyone, this is Sumaira, and this video is going to be about my personal experience as both a Muslim American and an Afghan American on 9/11. I remember that day so vividly. It was the first week of school, high school to be exact, and I was a freshman in a new school, in a new environment. Hence, at that time, my main priority was just about fitting in. And I'm sure many of you listening can relate to the anxiety that comes with being a freshman in high school. That morning, my mother dropped me off at the front gate of the campus. And I remember it was a very chilly day as I walked to my first class, geometry. When I entered the classroom, I recall how my classmates were all quieter than usual. And my teacher started the class by saying something to the sense of, I know many of you want to discuss what's happening, but as your teacher, your education is still my priority. So please focus on class and try not to have any distractions. I was very confused, but did not say anything and tried to focus on the lesson throughout the entire 90 minutes of class. After geometry, I went to my second class, history. There, my history teacher was obviously not going to stay silent. And I remember walking in and seeing the news on in her classroom, and that New York City was just covered in smoke. When the bell rang, the first question my history teacher asked the class was, who can tell me what's going on? Sadly, one of the students just yelled out, those damn Arabs attacked us. After hearing those words, my heart literally just sank and I froze. I was still not sure of what's actually going on, but just hearing the words Arabs, it felt like it was a personal attack. Even though I'm not Arab, I'm Muslim. We're all under the same umbrella. So I remember after that, I felt so isolated and alienated. I was the only Muslim, obviously, in my history class, and also one of the very few Muslims in my entire high school. The events that followed afterwards were not easy. That same night, my country of birth, Afghanistan, was suddenly all over the news, and my entire family, my parents, aunts, uncles, and cousins, went over to my grandma's house so we can all be together because we were all in shock. It was so difficult to process everything. My cousins and I just sat quietly looking to our parents for an explanation of how Afghanistan could possibly be the center of this tragedy. But even our parents were shaken, shocked, and speechless that night as we were. The next day, thankfully, some of my teachers, specifically my English teacher, knew of my family's background, and they did make sure to check up on me. And just seeing their compassion to understand without judgment was healing. But the weeks and months that followed the tragic events of 9/11 were not easy, especially both as a Muslim and as an Afghan. There were countless hate crimes that were on the rise. My parents were fearful for the safety of me and my sister. I was even told to not tell anyone that I was originally from Afghanistan for the fear of retaliation. In conclusion, witnessing 9/11 was extremely difficult and heartbreaking, just as an American. But unfortunately, my family had to deal with extra layers of trauma and fear, not only as Americans, but as Muslims and as Afghans. And to this day, that pain and shock is still with me, and I would never wish that experience on anyone. Thank you for listening.